for the open lightweight women's quad sculls. And we're about to get underway now in the under-23 Women's Youth 8 and Melbourne University in lane 3.
And in lane 4 we have Brisbane and GPS combo. In lane 5 Mercantile Composite. Lane 6 Sydney University. I'll definitely be cheering for Sydney University, that's my club there. And lane 7 Mossman Composite. And this is an event very close to my heart, having competed in the Women's 8 a number of times internationally, including in 2012 as a part of the Motley Crew. So certainly very excited about the depth that we have coming through in women's sweep rowing, and these girls are the future. This is who we're looking at.
In lane 3, it is Melbourne University. Yes, just having a look at the splits here from the heats too. Mercantile won the heat by 6 seconds from Brisbane and GPS. Sydney Uni in third place, and Sydney Uni led through 1,500 metres. Brisbane GPS making a slow start. And so we're about to get underway. In lane 4, Brisbane GPS Composite. In lane 5, Mercantile Composite. In lane 6, Sydney University. And in lane 7, it is the Melbourne Composite, Mossman Composite and Mercantile Composite there in the centre of the course in lane 5. And this should be a very interesting race. This is the future of women's sweep rowing in Australia. And Sydney University there on the screen. Mossman Composite, stroked by Georgina Gotch.
Attention.
There has been a change to this crew too, by the looks of it. Bring you more about that in just a moment. But they're away in the under-23 Women's Cox State. At the top of the screen in lane 3, it is the Melbourne University. In lane 4, Brisbane and GPS Composite. In lane 5, in the centre of the course, going out quickly too, is the Mercantile Composite. Sydney University in lane 6 and the Mossman Composite in lane 7. But in the centre of the course, it is this Mercantile Composite. In lane 5, Mercantile. In lane 7, Mossman. And Mossman going along nicely. A lot of these Mossman rowers too, I notice, are in the Youth 8, and they will be competing on the weekend for New South Wales. But it is a colourful scene as we look across the course. At the moment though, it would appear as though the Sydney University Composite just moving up there nicely. Mercantile in the centre of the course going out pretty quickly.
Yes, and that Mercantile crew actually has Addie Dunkley-Smith, who is the younger sister of Josh Dunkley-Smith, the stroke of the Australian men's 4 that we saw win just a few races ago. So certainly looking up to her brother and to his win a few races ago for a bit of inspiration, I would think. But certainly it is the Mossman and Mercantile and Melbourne Uni crews that have come out, and they're pretty well locked together at this stage. The 8 is such an incredible event. It is just such a challenge to have 8 rowers on the same page, 8 people doing the same thing at the same time. What you're looking for here is to have that rhythm feeding up and down the boat. So you know that an 8 is in perfect unison when the person in the bow seat can feel that rhythm and feed it all the way back up. It just runs up and down the boat like a concertina, and you can't help but row in that rhythm and feel sort of that power together and the speed of the boat. And the Mossman crew seems to be surging ahead now into the second 500. Very close with that Mercantile crew in the middle though. I would think that this Mossman crew would be one of the favourites. They've got some very talented youngsters on board in Lily Tinapple, Coco Bryant and Georgina Gotch, some staples of the Australian underage teams over the past few years. So some fantastic experience on board on that Mossman crew.
Yes, and the New South Wales Women 8 going for back-to-back victories at the Interstate Regatta at a youth level. So they're obviously very strong. They've got some good systems in place for young developing rowers coming through. And Lily Tinapple in the Western Australian Youth 8 for the weekend rowing as well. In the centre of the course, it is the Mercantile Composite with Addie Dunkley-Smith, 20 years of age. She is the stroke. And in lane 7, Mossman Composite. And it would appear as though it is a battle between 3 crews at the moment. Just on the right-hand side there of the Mercantile Composite is Brisbane and GPS, and they're just moving up ever so slowly on the top 2 crews at the moment, Mercantile and Mossman.
And of course the 8, everyone has a different role, and it is so critical that you play the role that you're in the boat for. And basically you can see India Evans there stroking the Sydney Uni 8. The stroke, it's critical that they have a long, easy to follow rhythm. They just have to be able to punch that out, unflappable in every stroke that they take. She's being backed up by Nicola there in the 7 seat, and her job is just to back up the stroke. Again, protecting her from any breaks in the rhythm, any force coming forward, so that stern pair just drive out the rhythm every stroke. Just absolutely unflappable, unwavering in what they're trying to do there. And then you've got the powerhouse. You've got your big, strong rowers through 4, 5, 6, and they are driving that crew down the course.
Well, it's developing into a race between two now. In lane 7, it is this Mossman Composite with a lot of very good young rowers coming through, and then the Mercantile Composite in lane 5 going stroke for stroke at the moment. The Mossman Composite, Mercantile Composite, Brisbane and GPS. And I might add too that Brisbane and GPS forced to make a couple of late changes there, with Eleanor Wilson and Joanna Tarrant out of this crew, Miller Ferris and Rosalind Cartmill coming in, and a great shot there as we can see the crews move down the centre of the course. It is still Mercantile leading at the moment by about a quarter of a boat length from that crew on screen. Mossman Composite in lane 7. It's probably a little narrower than that now. It's probably half a canvas, and as I mentioned a moment ago, it is virtually stroke for stroke at the moment. Mercantile Composite, and you can just see the cocks there. Annabelle Orr just bellowing out instructions, getting her crew going. Addie Dunkley-Smith in the stroke seat, and it is now a canvas between first and second. In second place, it is still this Mossman Composite, and Teresa Maguire just getting her crew going as well, the young cocks there. And it is Mossman currently in second place, a canvas behind Mercantile Composite currently in first place, a battle for third at the moment. You've got Sydney Uni Composite in lane 6, then you've got Brisbane and GPS and Melbourne University on the far side of the course, but gee, just pushing it away a little bit now. They lead by almost a canvas now. They've found something, Mercantile Composite, and they lead by a canvas from Mossman.
And this was our tactic, always at the 1250 metre mark, 750 to go, was where we had to take it by the scruff of the neck. This is where you get the job done in the 8. It's too big a boat to sprint for the line. That wind has to come from 750 metres out, and they're of course 250 metres now into that wind with only 500 to go. This goes by in a flash in the 8. It's such a fast boat. This last 500 will be done before the girls even know what's happened, so it's important for them to be prepared, and they're going in to attack this final 5.
And you can just see there Mossman searching for something here. Can they catch the Mercantile Composite in lane 5 in the centre of the course? It is Mercantile hanging on to this narrow lead. It's about a canvas at this stage. They're just hanging on at the moment. Mossman coming home strongly. You can see the stroke there. Georgina Gott just pushing, and she's pushing hard too in the bow at the moment. At the top of the screen, the Mercantile Composite just finding something. Chelsea Frawley just looking across there and seeing that there was this challenge coming through from the Mercantile Composite still. They're hanging on at the moment. It is still Mercantile out in front. Mossman in second place, stroke for stroke at the centre of the course. It is still Mercantile leading by a canvas now, but stroke for stroke you can probably see in lane 7 at the moment. It is still the Mercantile Composite just moving up ever so slightly now with about 50 metres to go. It is still the Mercantile Composite. In second place it is Mossman as they push it towards the line now. 30 metres to go, and hanging on is the Mercantile Composite, but only just. They're coming home strongly, Mossman, and Mossman just pushing it to the line. What a great finish. Still in first place, it is the Mercantile Composite. Coming home strongly, right over the top is the Mossman Composite. Oh, I think Mercantile is going to hang on to win, but only just. What a finish.
What a tremendous race. I thought that Mossman might get up on the surge there. So close. What an incredible race. I mean, after 2,000 metres to have that small a margin, it's just unfair that you have to award a gold and a silver in that situation. But I think Mercantile just got up, and what a brave race from them. They really tried to take it out in that 750 to go, and that's where it has to be done. That's where you put yourself on the line, and Mercantile took it. What a fantastic race by these young girls, and I think certainly the future of Australian women's sweep rowing is in good hands.
And the time there for Mercantile Composite, 6:32. And gee, what a race to the finish. Mercantile Composite finishing in first place, but only just. Mossman in second place. And didn't they push it hard to the line? Mossman almost got there, almost coming over the top of Mercantile. But in the end, Mercantile finding something right on the line. And they've managed to win the Under-23 Women's Youth Cox State. And what a great finish. That was the best finish we've seen so far today. And we've seen some close finishes.
Certainly, and by two of Australia's biggest clubs, Mossman and Mercantile. What a great legacy they have in Australian rowing, and it's only fitting to see them here locked together. And those Mossman girls, boy, did they do a good job to get those 3 seats back, and they almost got there.
Yes, Addie Dunkley-Smith in the stroke seat, Mercantile Composite. The Cox was Annabelle Orr, Katrina Weary, Adriana Murali. We had Dee Dee Williams in the crew as well, Olivia Siblin, Sophie Sutherland, Rachel Hooper and Chelsea Frawley. And David Colvin was one of the coaches there. He, of course, was a long-time Cox of the Victorian Men's 8 through the King's Cup era when they won a lot of races. And he had James Tompkins at his stroke. But just seeing there what a great finish that was, and the crews, they haven't moved very far, I might add, after that thrilling finish just a moment ago. And we're just watching a medal presentation just in front of us on the pontoon. We've got one race left for broadcast today. It's the Open Women's Quad Sculls, and it will feature the Australian crew involved in Sunday's World Cup.
Yes, a very exciting race up next indeed, and another event that's quite close to my heart, having raced this for Australia back in 2011, and certainly the girls in this crew coming up are very experienced, and we've got some exciting racing coming up. But for now, we have the presentation here of the Under-23 Women's 8. Of course, the winners were Mercantile. A very strong performance from them, but chased very, very closely by Mossman, driven all the way to the line there.
Yes, Mossman almost got there, didn't they?
They did. They did. Tremendously exciting, and very exciting for Australian women's rowing moving forward.